4, 3, 2, 1. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Samuel Emmanuel Dickinson Jr. from Better Better Society, an organization that is here to spread love and positivity. We're here to change the world, and we're going to do that by spreading love and positivity. Today, I have the pleasure of interviewing Anthony. You want me to say your full name or just Gator?
You know what I'm saying now?
Anthony Reeder, aka Gator. I know him from Exports. Real cool dude, you know. So we're gonna be chopping it up. How you doing?
Chilling, man. Just got a good back workout. Feeling good, man. It's always good to be in the gym. Yeah, man. It's always good to be in the gym, man.
I always see you in the
place,
gym.
bro. Hey, man. It's like a second home.
How many times a week you work out?
Usually I try to get at least a good 5 to 6 days straight in. Then take a breather. Then jump right back in. It depends on how I feel. I let my body tell me, you know, how it feels. If it feels good when I wake up in the morning, we here. If it doesn't feel good, we might do it 2 or 3 times before we give it that final verdict. We ain't going nowhere. So, but yeah, you know, just like the clock, you know, alarm clock to go off, you like, nah, I set it for like 5, 10 more minutes. That's how my thought process is. I'll set that clock again and be like, how do I feel now? Another 15 more minutes, see what happens. Nah, I ain't going nowhere. I'm staying in bed. I'm staying in bed, bro. I'm staying in bed.
All right, so how long have you been working out? Like how many years?
You figure, let's see. I've always worked out because I've always played sports and stuff. From high school, football, wrestled, ran track, played a little basketball. So, you know, you kind of do your workouts and training from there. I didn't really start getting workout until I went to the military, 88. That's when I kind of really started getting into workout. But to add on to it, and probably the reason why after that is, the first person I followed, and a lot of people followed him, was Arnold. I got a book. His first book he came out with is like this thick. The Arnold, it's like the Bible of every bodybuilder. It's like this thick. And I still have it to this day stored away somewhere. But, you know, reading that, looking into that, you know, during high school, senior year and everything else, going into military, started meeting other guys. So that's probably when I really started working out, started paying attention to it. And ever since then, it's been the same. Even getting into the wheelchair, same factor. You know, it took a little while, you know, get the head together. Once you get the head together, now you got to say, okay, let's get this body together. So that took a few months, probably within a good, I say after my accident, probably that happened the end of December 27th of 2003. So you figure probably about by the middle of 04, I was already back in the gym. Working out and everything else, learning with the body, learning what my body was able to do, what it couldn't do. Some things I had to give a little time, I couldn't get crazy. So just light weights, just, you know, working the body, gradually doing more. Then finally, you know, going to therapies, you know, different places. And got to one therapy place, you know, they had a gym where they used for the clients, you know, do a little therapy to go out, work on their legs or work on their arms. So they would let me use their gym. So I paid a little membership fee for the gym. And what was happening was, after the first couple of months, I started stealing all the weights. So I'd be working, like doing bench, I have like 4 or 5 plates, doing this, so on. So I was taking the weights from the clients.
Wait, I'm sorry. Wait, you were benching 4 or 5 plates?
Yeah, man.
Wait, I'm sorry, so after you get accident.
Within a good year and a half.
So a year and a half.
A year and a half to 2 years. I was already benching like 3, 4, 5 plates.
Wow, that's crazy.
Even at Exports, that's what cats would know me for when I first got to Exports. Cats were like, yo, that cat in a wheelchair, like, this, no bother. Like, no bother. Because they knew my routine. Yeah. I was the type of person, like, if I needed help, I asked. If you knew me. If you didn't know me, I don't ask. You know what I'm saying? I don't ask for help. But if I do need, I say, yo, help spot me on this and so on. And, you know, I used to watch, here go another factor. The first guy after Arnold really watching and getting into the bodybuilding world, once I got in a wheelchair, Dennis James was the first person that I picked up on, following his workout routines and modifying to work for me, being I'm in the wheelchair, and I was just wilding. Just had his routine down packed. And to make it even a greater story, just this past 2 years, about 2 years ago, one of my friends I went to school with graduated a year before me. I was in Vegas. I'm in Vegas every year. Went to my first Mr. Olympia competition. Ran into one of my partners in the expo, like, yo, what's going on? I said, Nassau, yeah, I'm trying to find different people, so on and so on. But I would love to see Dennis James and Kai Green. He said, Dennis James? He said, I know him, dude. He said, yo, that's my man. We live in Arizona together. I said, yo, stop playing, son. He was like, yo, he's here. He got a booth. I said, yo, stop playing. He said, yo, listen, I'm going to find his booth. I'm going to call you and tell you where it is. I'm going to introduce you to him. Sure enough, within a half an hour, he called me and my brother was out there. Called me, said, yo, come down aisle so-and-so. We get there, man. What was so funny about it, I told Dennis, I said, yo, DJ, if I was one of those starstruck person, I'd probably start crying, but I'm not that type of person. I ain't gonna start crying. So man, we talked it up. I told him all the videos that I followed. I would tell him about videos. He didn't remember himself. And but it was a great first Olympiad. I got treated like a king. I got invited to everything, got to meet so many different Olympiads and everything else. So it was that first one was a good one. So I really just some things happen for reasons. Yeah. So I can't complain. Here it is years later, still just pushing, still doing what I love to do, in the gym every day, enjoying life. And listen, man, try to pass that positivity along to people, you know what I'm saying? It don't make sense for me to keep it. Why?
Yeah, you are really positive, like.
I try to be, man. I mean, life is already crazy enough, man. I mean, we all got our negative moments. Ain't nobody perfect. If somebody said they're 24-hour positive, I hate to say it, they're lying, because there's no 24-hour perfect person. There's no such thing. Everyone got a little moment where we have to be different. You have to, because the more positive you are, somebody out there is pushing you to be negative, and somewhere along the line, you're gonna break a little bit. You might not go the whole 9 yard, but you might do a little bit. You might do a little like, hey, listen, this is the world I like to live. I ain't trying to do this and that. If that's how you want to be, more power to you. That's not me. So don't put me in that predicament where I have to change myself for another reason. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's all good, man. You try to just live life, be happy. Like my man Kevin Hart said, live, laugh, and love. That's all you can do, bro. So, but it's all good. I'm here.
After your accident, like what were some of the emotions you was feeling?
Well, the original accident was gunshot. I got shot left side, bullet hit me on my left side. Went straight to my lumbar at L2. And what it did was it shut everything down from my neck all the way down. So I was standing, so when the time it happened, so basically, like I said, from the neck down. So before, I guess my arms were able to go out, when I fell forward, I was able to put my hands in front of my face. So when I landed like that on my hands. Just like a switch, like somebody hit a switch and just everything went out. It happened in the Bronx. The hospital was Lincoln Hospital, like maybe 10, 15 minutes. You figure when the cops and everything else came, just like I'm talking to you now, talking to them, everything else. But from the time they picked me up there, took me to the hospital, the whole world changed. A couple of my friends had got to the hospital before we got there. And I got one person trying to keep me cool, putting ice on me because I'm burning up. Another person trying to calm me down. So like I tell most people, think about getting jumped. Starts off with one person, 2 hands. 2 people, 4 hands. So on and so on and so on. And just keep up. So you feel like you got 1,001 people kicking you, hitting you and everything else. You can't even focus. You don't know what to do. You don't know what to block. You don't know what to cover up. You just get wailed on. And that's what the pains felt like in my body from head to toe. You couldn't grab nothing. You couldn't grab one thing. It just, so many things are coming. And basically I said, listen, if this is my time, listen, I'm a vet, play sports and everything else, enjoy life. Got 3 beautiful kids, can't complain. Listen, they're doing their thing. I got to do a lot. I was getting ready to go into police academy. I got my letter. I was supposed to wait in the year before, but they put a hold on it, so I had to wait another year, go through the whole process again. So I was trying for the Trevecca, military veteran. I've been a fireman, volunteer on Long Island for about 25 years now. So I wanted to get that cop in there, kind of like mix that in. Plus, I was a nurse, nurse aide, assistant rather. I went to the hospital. I was there for almost 15 years. Worked every department, loved the ER. So I couldn't complain, man. Bucket list. I was born into this world with a bucket list, so I'm good. Like I'm like this. If I'm gonna leave this world like this, I'm good. I can leave happy. And before I finished that sentence, the pain went away. It's like one person went off, another person went off, down, all the way down to no one hit me no more until I just blacked out. So the whole month of January, that first month of the new year, I couldn't tell you nothing. I don't remember nothing. It's a fog. I couldn't tell you nothing. But listen, like I said, strong. If you're strong for something to happen, you're even stronger. If you kind of weak for something to happen, it's going to make you strong, but you got to find a way to make yourself strong. And like I said, once I got the head together, started figuring out what my body can do, because basically they're going to tell you as simple as this. There's a 99.9% you may never walk again. A wheelchair be your way to get around. Me being me, she'll give me my wheelchair, bro. All these cats I knew that was doing all the stunts and stuff, man, listen, show me how to do that stuff. Listen, I can't be mad. So here it is years later, still pushing, still doing what I do. I'm happy. I tell people this is the best injury in the world. They're like, why? Listen, I can still go to the gym, work my upper body up. I ain't gonna do squats no more. I ain't gonna go jogging no more. I can't kick nobody no more, but I can hold my leg up and kick somebody and let them run into my foot. But listen, it's all good. I'm happy, man. I can't complain, bro. Listen, still, as long as we still got life, live. Still get to travel, get to see the world, go on cruises. Meet people all the time. You meet even more people. You meet a lot of stranger people too, because people always want to. I don't get this. People will stare you in your face, and then you say, "Hey, how you doing?" They look at you. Don't talk to me like you staring at me. Sure, I thought you liked me or something. I thought we had eye contact. That's why I stopped. So that goes into everything I do goes into something. That's why I wear my hoods all the time, because someone's always staring at you. So it kind of allows you, if you turn around, you catch them, they don't see your eyes because you got the hood covering your eyes. You know what I'm saying? It's hanging down, because people will look at you and they'll say they'll ask you the craziest thing, like, you look like you should be walking. Well, I hate to tell you, I'm not in this wheelchair for show. I'm not here for show, bro. Listen, I can't just get up and say, hey, take the chair, you can use it. I'm in it, bro. So, but it's all good, man. But it's good, bro. Can't complain.
When your accident happened, did you see it coming, or was it just like a fluke?
Well, actually, the gentleman that I was working with that day, I was working in a clothing store. And what happened was we was conversating. And what had happened was all of us just abruptly, he just turned from the conversation like what the hell? Like, we just talking. And I happened to turn to my left, and there was a guy that was already out, pistol in hand. So I tried to turn, it was close to a doorway, so I tried to turn to maybe jump into the doorway. I just turned enough for the bullet to catch me on my left hand side. That was it.
So the guy wasn't after you or anything? It was like a random...
He had been there before, then I had a run-in with him that same day, so it could be either or, but listen. I can't be mad. I always tell people things happen for a reason. If it was for him, it was for him. If it was for me, it was for me. Don't make a difference. It happened. It's done with. What am I going to keep reminiscing about something that happened years ago? Life goes on. That's what a lot of people, today, issues and problems, they're still dealing with something from the past, but the present and the future is still moving on. So why am I going to stick with that? Why do I need to be still worrying about, people ask did they catch the guy? I'm like, I have no idea. They're like, are you sure? I have no idea. I had no idea. That wasn't even the farthest in my mind where, the detectives stuff came, blah, 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 blah. They asked, do you remember this and that? I did everything I was supposed to do. Once all that's done, now I need to focus on me, because it's all about me. My thing was all about trying to get myself back on my feet, and whatever it took, I had to get focused on that. I couldn't worry about family, the kids. I couldn't worry about them because they're good. They're not in this predicament. I'm the one that's in this predicament. Now they're on the outside, looking in. I'm in the inside, not really looking out, because if I'm focusing on them, I'm not doing myself any good, any righteousness. So I need to focus on me and try to get what I need to get done. Get my head together. And once you get the head together, you know what's going on, you accept what's going on. Okay, what are my options? Okay, you got a wheelchair. You know, they're gonna put you on braces. They're gonna try to walk you with a walker. They're gonna try to do this and that. So I need to focus on those things. And as things get better, still everybody on the outside gonna be good. They're gonna be there to support me, because I'll do the same thing for them if they was in the same predicament. So that's where my focus was. And within a good probably not even 6 months. I'd probably say 6 months. In a good 6 months time, I was already pushing myself, knowing what I was doing. They got me a wheelchair, they modified it so I can get around, going to therapy. And like I said, I started playing wheelchair basketball, you know, learning that trick of the trade. Like I said, after a while, found they had a little gym, so I would go in there, light weights, you know, do a little arms, do a little this. Had a computer, so I'm starting to look up things. So I'm already preparing myself. I spent like maybe 5 weeks at Lincoln. Left Lincoln, went to a 30-day rehab. Left that 30-day rehab, went to Roosevelt Island. I spent about 6 months at Roosevelt Island. Left there. That's in Queens. They brought me out to Long Island finally. What happened was my parents, because I'm the baby of 4, what they did was they modified the garage and made it handicap accessible. But it wasn't done yet. So what happened was I had to go to a rehab facility. It was out in, what was that? It was across the street from North Shore Hospital.
Okay.
I was only supposed to be there for 3 months and being there for a year. So, you know, you're doing therapy. You know, the therapy is not for what I needed, but you know, it was good. You know, you know, when they say old folks, grown folks ain't fun. You know, listen, I had a great time. It was just fun being with them. Sad part about it was, you'll see them with a light today. Tomorrow, you'll see like somebody cut the switch off.
So you were like older people.
Yeah, it's basically most rehab facilities, inpatient is you only around a lot of senior citizens. And so I was more or less hanging out with the people who worked there. It was my age bracket, so I was hanging out with the people, the employees and everything. So, and being there for a year, finally came home. You know, now I'm going to another therapy place, and now you're getting used to being home, and you know, it takes a little challenge, but now you're starting to do things. And what happened was, like I said, I was doing therapy there. I went out to Vegas for my first time. Been to Vegas before I was in a wheelchair. So this is my first time since I've been in a wheelchair. My nephew was getting married, so I was out there for like 2 weeks. So I said, man, I gotta work out. So I told my nephew, I said, yo, take me to a gym, man. I gotta get to working out. He took me to a gym, fell in love with, like, yo, man, this is crazy. 24 hours, they had all type of equipment. And had a couple of bodybuilders in there. I'm like, yo, when I get back home, I'm leaving therapy. I'm going to a gym. Sure enough, when I came back, I said, listen, we good. It's time for me to move on. You know, and guess what? First gym I went to. Exports. They had been open for about a good year. One of my guys like, yo, there's a gym, this 24-hour gym at Roosevelt Field called Exports. Actually, they weren't even 24 hours yet. They was the first one that went 24 hours, because Export was the only one that was open every day, but they wasn't open 24 hours. So when other gyms closed on holidays, Export was open. So people from other gyms would come to Export on those holidays because their gyms were closed because of the holiday, or they closed up early. So eventually, Export went 24 hours, 7 days a week, and they closed down every other gym because Export took off. So, and been there ever since. So, it's looking about 12, 13 some years or so. So, you know, that's one thing I can say about my life is one thing goes to something else. You know, you talk about this, it goes into that. You know, a story goes into this, but it keeps moving forward. That's the whole progress. It's not a standstill. And as long as I'm moving, then I'm good. And in my case, I'm not just moving, I'm rolling.
Funny, but so I have a question. So when you left therapy and you went to the gym,
yeah,
like what did that do for your mental?
What capacity? What do you mean in reference to mental?
Like, did it make you feel more like capable?
Nah, that would probably. I never felt like that. I can say honest, I never really felt like that. I've always been that go person anyway, go gadget type, like just moving. So I probably had one moment where I'm comfortable, probably what you're saying, the uncomfortable moment, and it's the weirdest thing. Me and a couple of fellas went to the mall, and you know, us guys, you know, we see something from long distance, but like, I see somebody walking, like, whoa, like yo, like, I'm not even telling nobody else, this is me in my eyes, like, yo, I see something sexy coming this direction, and I'm like, yeah. Now, my mind is thinking like I'm walking, like I'm 6 foot, 6'1", like that's what my mind is thinking, like, yeah, I might even realize I'm in the wheelchair, that's how I am, I forget sometimes I'm in the wheelchair. And I'm just like, yeah, like, wow. And she getting close. I'm like, wow, somebody looking real good. I'm like, yo, listen, I gotta say something to it. And this is something only women could do. They can talk to you without talking to you. They make that face expression, don't say nothing to me, or I like what I see, or I'm gonna get him. Well, she made that face like, you better not say nothing to me. We passed by her. I stopped. Everybody said, yo, what you stop for? I gotta pick my face up, bro. My face just dropped to the ground. As we got closer, and I'm looking at her, I'm like, yeah, and she just made that expression, like, don't say nothing to me. I was like, bam. I just stopped, my face hit the ground, bam. That's when I realized that I'm no longer walking, I'm in a wheelchair. So I had to change my game. And just refocus, regenerate, renew myself. And that was the beginning of the end of realizing, and I never really thought about it, but that was the realization that, okay, I'm in a wheelchair, I can't approach women the same way, and really people the same way, so I had to reinvent myself. So I love to joke, love to have fun, so now I have to be a little bit more funnier. Why? Not because I had to, it's because I wanted to, because I knew it would make people feel uncomfortable. Anytime people see a person in a wheelchair, the first thing they think, what's wrong with him? Does he have a disease? Can he walk? Can he talk? Is he gonna swing on me? Is he gonna start yelling, start screaming? So you try to make people feel comfortable around you, and always the sign that you made a person feel comfortable around you. I don't mean to be personal, but what happened to you? So it's not personal because something did happen. You can see that, so it's not personal. But I'm glad you asked. This is what happened to me, and they're like, wow. I said, "Folks, no, just like you, we walk, talk. I don't walk, but you know, we talk, I move, and everything else. This thing about it, I just can't walk, but I'm just like you."
Yeah.
So now everyone's good. You know, everyone see you. Like I said, you're in the gym, you talk, and that's one of the good things about being in the gym. What I love is that you meet people all the time. You're out and about, so that's another good thing. A person that's had something bad happen to them, you don't want to cut yourself off from the world. Because once you cut yourself off from the world, you're making it even more harder for yourself to get back into the world. And you don't want to do that. You want to get back up on a good foot, start getting out there. You know, everyone's different. You want to start getting out there. You don't have to be social, you just want to get out there. You know what I'm saying? You want to go places. You want to see what you can do, go where you can go to. If you can't go there, then you got to bring somebody with you, But you want to get out, because the quicker you can do that, the quicker your life is going to move forward. And the longer you go ahead and cut yourself from the rest of the world, you go deeper and deeper into that rabbit hole, and we don't know where the heck that's going to end at. Now it's that four walls, in the corners, you know, depressed and everything else and so on. So you got to start, you know, start catching yourself, start thinking about that. Like, listen, you're alive. And that's one of the biggest things I always tell people, you're alive. As long as you're alive, I don't care how bad or how good you are, you're alive. You could be worse, because there's always someone worse than you. Do what you do, man. Learn about, it's a good way to learn about yourself. Of course, no one never knows themselves 100%. So you gotta reboot your system and say, hey, listen, let me figure out this, okay? I got people, as long as you, and even more, if you got people on your side, that helps, because they're telling you, like, hey, listen, come on, let's go someplace. Let's do this and that. Don't say no, say yeah. Go out with them. You know, they're helping you, they're there. Take that support while you can get it, because there's a lot of people who don't even get that support. And those are the ones that want to get out, but they don't have no support system. So if you got a support system, you better take advantage of it. So, that's the things you got to do. You got to get out. You got to talk with people, be around people. And that's one of the things I love about the gym, because every day you're meeting people, people seeing you, they're like, yo, look at this dude. I got no excuse. This dude is at the gym all the time, 3-4 hours a day working out. hood on, sweat, working out. He's working. What the heck do I need to complain for? You know what I'm saying? So you want to be in that atmosphere. You want people to see you doing things. And if you do ask for help, 9 out of 10, you're going to have some people that's going to be, hey, man, if you need some help, let me know. That's appreciated. There's going to be people that's not going to say that. But you got to get out and find out what you can do, what you can't do, who's going to help. Just as long as you keep getting out there, you're good. You know what I'm saying? But if you're not getting out there, that's where the problem starts at. So, But everybody's different. I can say that just like anything else in life. We all say, good answers to something, or we give someone a good, suggestion, this and that. We can say a lot of things, but whoever we're saying it to, it's up to them. Because they're going to do it. Further than that, a lot of times you waste words. So, but, yeah.
So before you were in a wheelchair, right? And if before, like, when you would have seen somebody in a wheelchair, like, because I know for myself, like, I'll see somebody in a wheelchair and I'll think, like, how would I feel if I was in a wheelchair? How did your perspective change from before until afterwards?
Well, actually, it didn't really change because, I've always did, on my side, I've always did bodyguarding, security and everything else, private driving and so on. So I'm at the clubs, there's cats coming to the clubs, getting their groove on, drink on. I knew cats that were like drag races. They had their cars modified for drag racing. Chicks, beautiful, coming to the clubs with wheelchairs, their fur coats on, looking good, hand models, face models, urban wear clothes, magazines. They come up in the club, they get more props than the chicks that's there. The chicks like, Gator, why is she getting no attention? You have to ask her. I don't know what to tell you, but they would get that attention because they accepted their situation, and they didn't just accept it like, okay, listen, I'm in a wheelchair, that's it. They continued on, and I gave mad props, like, and somewhere I tell people, like, I almost was prepared for it. That's why it was an easy transition, because I knew so many people that were in wheelchairs, and I knew that I didn't look at like, what's wrong with them? These people I met, talked to them, they came to clubs, and that was very easy. You out partying, man, get your groove on. So, and you talk to them, and you listen to their stories and everything else. It's like, wow. And when I end up being in it, like, wow, guess what? That's almost like, it was like I'm being prepared for it. I was being, I was being groomed for it, because when I got in, they were like, yo, get my wheelchair, bro. I'm ready to do what everybody else doing. But only bad part about it, when I started off, and all those beautiful women that I seen in the wheelchair, I didn't see nobody when I got in the wheelchair. I was like, yo, where these women at, man? I need to find something about how to roll with me, man. I don't want nobody walking. I want somebody to roll with me, son. So, yeah, further than that, like I said, it was like I was grown for it. So really, like I said, I probably, besides that one incident with the female, where my face just, had to pick my face up, I can say very honestly, truthfully, and that's one thing I learned to be even more, that I might not have been that much before, where I had a moment where I broke down, and it wasn't because of the accident. Life was, getting heavy and everything else. It was because one day I left my room going to therapy, and I was already I woke up pain, like my back was bothering me, my legs, my feet were swollen, I was getting these shooting pains, my knee, I'm jumping around like going to convulsion. But these shooting pains, if you ever had them, man, it's terrible, because you don't know when they're coming, and when they come, like someone pat, that's how they hit you, that's how your body is just shaking, like, oh damn. I was in so much. By the time I got to therapy, and I had this cool therapist, I don't remember my name, but real cool man. I always gave her praise for the work that she did and everything else. I was sitting there one day, man, and it was just, I couldn't take it no more, because I was having so many pains going on, and I was already on a bunch of medicine, and the pain was so bad, man, I couldn't take it no more, man. Broke down in tears, man. She walked up to me, she gave me a napkin. I just couldn't take it no more, man. I had so many pains, it was driving. It almost felt like that first day again. Well, all those, people just hit me, and I just couldn't focus. I couldn't even think. I'm like, why am I, going down here, and I'm feeling this way, and I'm like, I gotta go to therapy, It's not gonna do me no justice sitting in my room. And that's probably the most realest time I broke down. And it was, like I said, it wasn't because of what happened and it's changing my life, and it was because I had so many pains going on, and you couldn't tell what was coming and what was going. So, but besides that moment, and then that moment with the young lady I had seen, further than that, man, it's been just giddy up and go.
So were you raised positively? Like, what contributed to you being able to handle that so well?
I don't know, because in my family, I was like the rebel. Because, like I said, I'm the baby of boys. No girls. Mother's the only woman in the household. Everybody's 6 foot and up. Mom's like, my mother's like a little bit taller than me now. I'm like 4'4", 4'5". She's about 5'7", 5'8". She's a little bit taller than me, and I'm sitting down. You know what I'm saying? So, I was like the rebel kid, man. I was the one that did the opposite of everybody. If everybody was God, I'm definitely the devil. That's just how I was, but I was always the go-getter. Running the streets, fighting, getting into trouble and so on. Just like any other kid, but I just did a little bit better. It was constant. But played, was like that until I got to junior high school. And then, the girl and the sports, so I'm playing football, I'm wrestling, playing basketball. So now you got the girls. So now the whole, all that trouble, that too. Like bam, bam. So now you like the whole mentality is changing. So, all that really getting in trouble and fighting to get in trouble, all that started changing. And junior high school, what happened was I left. I got the Boston wrestling coach from the high school picked me up from the junior high school. My 7th grade year, I wrestled. My 8th grade year, I was like off and on because there was nobody in my weight class. I was weighing like 170, 180 in 8th grade. So they brought me up to the high school and wrestled freshmen. Had nobody in my weight class. They brought me up to JV. Then they're bringing me up to varsity. So here it is, an 8th grader wrestling varsity. So when I got to the high school, that was during the time frame where if you're a freshman, you got initiated, going to high school. Imagine going through school and everybody's running around, getting chased and everything else, and you walking through the hallways like a movie. You walking through the hallways and nobody touching you, and everybody's wondering like, why ain't nobody getting you? I'm here. I've been here for a while, bro. Because my 8th grade year, I was coming there playing sports, so I'm meeting all the, freshmen to seniors. I'm wrestling. They introduced me to everybody. My brother, I had 1 or 2 brothers still in school then, so.
And it was like 6
They getting thrown into the duck pond and and I'm like, yo, I can't help you, bro. I can't help you. So it was very hilarious. Then when I got to the high school, didn't play freshman football. I am getting turned up to the varsity. I played 4-year varsity at Freeport. Graduated in '86. 4-year vars. Played basketball. Made the team. I was a starter and got cut 2 games into the season. Because my wrestling coach wanted me to wrestle. I didn't want to wrestle. I wanted to play ball. So I was getting cut. So I didn't want to sit around, so I ended up going to wrestling. So I wrestled for a couple years, ran track. But I had fun, man. I got stories with days of craziness, but it's a good life, man. I can't complain, bro. I loved all of it. And then graduated, 86, went to Nassau for like 2 semesters and was like, I'm in the union more than classes. So that was like, that was the beginning and the end. So I worked. I was still working while I was still going to Nassau. 88, I was like, listen, I already took the test. Told a couple of people I'm going to the military. Went in 88, got out the end of 90, about the end of 94. I got out 2 days before Christmas. And then first year was rough. Got into Winthrop Hospital and just doing other things, getting it going. So I can't complain, man. I had a good life, man. Listen, we all got our ups and downs. Like I said, life is perfect, but we have ups and downs. But like I said, the name of the game is keep things moving.
So that's what it is.
Keep things moving. Yeah, all those things was a build up to get me where I am now. And my attitude now is basically, listen, like I said, like live, laugh, love, enjoy, help who I can help, but I don't ask for nothing in return. That's one of my biggest things. If I do something for you, I don't do it because I have to. I do it because I want to. And if I wanted something in return, it would be not a given because you asked me. But if you didn't ask me and I do something for you, don't even worry about it. Like, oh, it's all good. You know what I'm saying? I don't have everything, but if I can give a little bit to somebody else that might need it more than I do, shit, hey, listen, that's not even, I don't think too much about it. It's just how it is, man. You know, I tell anybody, you get a total stranger walking to right now and ask me 1,001 questions, I'll give you the answer. I have nothing to hide from relationship, love, life. Kids, listen, I'll help anybody if you need the help, if you know me, if you just met me. We cool. You don't need to earn my respect. You get it off the back. It's yours to lose. But I'm an open book, man. You know, that's as I am. If you ask me anything, I'll give you an answer. Either you're gonna like it, you're not gonna like it, but I'll give you an answer. But I just enjoy it, man. I just like to do things. My motto's always been keep busy, especially even now being in a wheelchair, because what it is that I learned that as time go on, the more you do nothing, the more those negative thoughts kick in. And that's even for a person not, well, just for the regular everyday person. When you find yourself doing nothing, and you may not, you think about it now because I'm saying it, but next time you find yourself doing nothing, see how quick it takes for you to go into that dark place. Where you find yourself, you're thinking about this, and it goes from this to you thinking about something crazy, just something out of the clear blue sky. How the hell did I think of this? Like, what type of dream is this? I didn't think of this dream, but it just came out. You can go into a dark place very quickly. So my thing to kind of like keep ahead of that, but when I do get into that moment where I'm like relaxing, taking it easy, I can handle it. You know, I can deal with it much either on the mind. But keeping busy works many benefits. You know, especially with me, what I like is it keeps me busy, keeps me on a schedule, keeps me going. You know, it keeps me out and about. But when I'm at home and I'm relaxing, taking it easy, it's all good, you know. And like the way my room is set up, I have it set up where I have all my video games and, you know, movies and this and that. So you have everything you need. So if you're home, you can sit and chill and do whatever you want to do. But you know, that dark place, and like I said, the devil could creep on you at any time. You just give it a little moment, give it a little space to jump in there. It'll throw you off, and it'll have you thinking something that you don't need to be thinking about.
You know, I really agree with you because when I went through a breakup, maybe let's say 3 years ago, and the thing that got me through it was I started my business. I started printing shirts, making hats, doing events, and I was just so happy.
Of course, you wasn't focused. Your mind wasn't on the thing that happened.
Yeah.
Your mind was on what you're trying to do. And then once you got the business going and everything else and so on, at a clear blue sky, a flashback might have kicked in on you. It might have happened like, damn, like, oh, wow. But you can handle it.
Yeah.
You can handle it. Now imagine if you didn't kick into your business and everything else,
oh man,
it'd be a whole different ballgame.
I know people like that.
There you go. So it's like, yeah.
So
The thing is don't think about what took place. Go another direction. Like leave. Like, okay, there's a dead end here. Don't stay there. Back up. Get back on the main road and go. You know what I'm saying? And that now, by the time you go back to another area where there's a dead end, you can handle it. You're like, okay, cool. You know, this happened. You know, things happen for a reason. You know, she was good. You know, I had nothing bad to say about her. You know, she was good. But you know, things happen, and you know, hopefully, I wish her the best. You know, I moved on, and I'm doing other things and everything else. And you're like, cool. Compared to the person that didn't do that backup and hit that main road, they stayed there. Now, every time you see them, they still talking about that same thing. Oh, I'm like, yo, dude, really?
It's great, bro.
So when people ask, like, yo, man, do you think about, you know, what happened and the person that did it? I'm like, why? Now you understand, like, why? Yo, man, you know, this your Bush, man. No, that's wrong, man. That's messed up. What happened?
So it's like
like, you know, like, what do you want me to do? Like, yo, you know, when you tell people the story what happened, they'll be like, yo, that's messed up, man. You're like, yo, that's messed up that happened. Okay. Because this is something that happened time ago. I moved on. You know what I'm saying? I accepted what had happened. I moved on. So when you tell people the story, they say, "Oh man, man, I feel bad for you." Why? I don't feel bad. It happened. It's done with. I accept it. I moved on. What the heck am I feel bad for? So I mean, even with relationships, once again, we can say these things, but everyone deals with things differently. Sometimes relationships, if it's going to go bad, it's going to go bad. If it's going to be good, it's going to be good. We work toward everything, but the biggest things that you look at the world today is, the problem with a lot of things is, nobody talks anymore. No one talks anymore. You know what I'm saying? The average person, this whole time we would talk, besides you might check your phone or something, most people, they're sitting in front of each other, texting each other. Talk. I don't think that's one of the old school things that people like, yeah, man, also, old school, there's a lot of good things from the old school that need to be carried on to today, that will help out with today. I'm not saying everything, because every generation brings something good and bad to the table. But one of the biggest things right now, we don't talk no more. Everything is texting. Text. Once the blue be on the phone, we have to talk on the phone. Well, that doesn't solve anything. I don't mind texting, but I got a limit. If hey, how you doing, Gator? How's everything doing today, and so on. Now, once I start seeing it get ready to change into a conversation, you better pick up the phone. Well, I can't call you, but then don't ask me all that stuff then, because I'm not going to sit here and try to text you, and I'm not the biggest texter, so I'm not going to be sitting there texting 100 words a minute, this and that. It'd be like 5 words. I'm slow as all I'm doing. But I can get on a rhythm, but it's just, I don't like to do it, because why? My biggest thing is, texting for short conversations, maybe. Long term, heck no. Why? Because if you're my wife, my girlfriend, or a friend, I want to hear your voice. You know what I'm saying? I want to hear, when I say something that I think is funny, I want to hear you laugh about it. You're like, if I say something funny on a text, it don't even sound funny to me. Like, this is horny. You know what I'm saying? There's no feeling in text. It's just words. But it's not, even if the words sound good, it don't really sound, the only time words really sound good is listen to a book. You know what I'm saying? It's got a story behind it, because you're reading into it. You know what I'm saying? You read with somebody, so something like that. But texting don't. I guess that's that old school mentality. It just don't get me like that. Like, if I call a person, I want to talk to you. I want to hear your voice. I want to hear how you sound. If you're not having a good day, I want to hear how it sounds. If you're having a great day, I want to hear how it sounds. Texting don't do that for me. Yeah, nah.
I think nowadays people are scared to connect with one another deeply.
But then if you're scared to connect deeply, vocally, how can you try to connect deeply texting? You know what I'm saying? Like, I've never been on a dating site before in my life. This year I went on a dating site. This is a site called Bubble. And a lot of people, like this one spinal injury group I'm with, make a magazine, and they talk about how a lot of people with wheelchair find this site to be great in reference to meeting people. So I was like, we're gonna try something different this year. We're gonna get on this Bubble. Go on Bubble. The first 5 people that hit me up were people that I knew, that I ain't seen them in like years. They was like, I wasn't gonna swipe left, I'm swiping right, like, yeah, like, oh my God, I haven't seen you in years. I'm like, yo, you on this site? They're like, yeah, this and that and so on. What I like about it is more information about the individual, and the one biggest thing I like about it is, if they match you up with somebody, the woman has to be the one to make the initial move. She had 24 hours. So if me and you matched up, you have 24 hours to say something, to respond, like make the first move to me. So that's cool. And the thing about it is the pictures, I didn't put like just face pictures. Why am I gonna do that? I'm in a wheelchair. What the heck am I gonna send? So you got pictures of me from like people like I worked out with, a couple of them like in uniform, or I maybe went out. But you see pictures of me in a wheelchair. So off the back, you see the person that you're going to talk to, whatever it may be. I never felt comfortable putting a picture up with just me, just a face. So I like to put a picture up with me. It probably, you can look on my Instagram or so, you might see maybe 1 or 2 pictures of me just probably like chest up. Everything else, you see the chair. You know what I'm saying? So if you're going to appreciate the face, you got to appreciate everything else. Like if a woman got 4 kids, but she look good, you gotta appreciate the woman and the 4 kids. You can't just appreciate the woman and the 4 kids. That's a combination. So all this sexiness and this chair is a combination. You can't just take the sexiness without the chair. You gotta take the chair and the sexiness. You gotta take both. So, but you meet so many people, but I had one incident where a chick I met, she responded. So she was like, hey. That was it, just hey. I was like, I texted back, I said, hey, what's going on? Nothing. That was all. I said, hey, what's going on with you? And she responded, nothing. I said, okay. So I said, well, how's everything going with you? Okay. That sense kicking in like a spidey sense, like, yo, this is not gonna go anywhere. Like, you responded to me, and you give me a little one-word sentence, like, okay. So I said, let me try a little something. I said, so, you know, how are you liking Bubble? I don't like Bubble because people are not who they say they are. Okay. All right, so I cannot respond. I'm like, well, you know, it's a dating site, you know, blah, 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 you know. You can't go into these sites open like that. You have to go into these sites with hesitation, you know, like talk to people, this and that, and so on. You gotta learn about the person. You can't just go in full Monty, I wanna get married, I want kids and everything else, because not everybody's there for that same reason. So, you know, I said, so, you know, is this what you've been going through since you've been on Bubble? Yeah. That's it, yeah. After all what I just said, that's the only answer you get that word, yeah. So I said, one thing I learned since I've been on it is, they call it bold, I call it just, that's just me. I just said to you, I don't like to be sitting there texting all day. The first day we text, no problem. Second day, I'm texting you my number. Call me. Now that's up to you to respond to it. But everyone's I've been doing it to is like it's bold. Like no, because I'm telling you, I don't mind texting, but I want to text. I want to talk to a person. I want to see where you're coming from. That's how you feel if a person is worth it or not worth it, or if they say things you're like they ain't got it all. You know what I'm saying? So if I ask you a question, you give me some crazy answer. It sounds much different, crazier when I hear it compared to when you text it. I'm like, did they really say that?
Yeah.
But when you hear it, like, yeah, it could have been a typo. But when you hear it, you're like, they're crazy.
Yeah, she said that.
Like, yo, she's crazy. So I gave her the number. So she calls me. She's like, hey, how you doing? You know, she had a little instinct. Okay, so she got to be Jamaican. Okay, cool. And, you know, I'm like, hey, so how you doing? I said, glad to hear her voice. I said, you know, I told her to text and all. So I was glad to hear her voice. And long story short, after I said I like to hear the voice of a person, for the next 30 minutes, she talked. I couldn't talk. I just listened. Because she was talking, and I wouldn't mean, she wasn't talking like, hey, you know, doing, you know, she was like, I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like, yo. Had to be at least 30 minutes, she was just talking. You know, most times you just agree like, yeah, right. I wasn't even doing that. She was just talking. By the time I got a word in, it was like, you can already see, like, all right. Like,
I'm tired.
It's like, you know. So she was like, I'm doing something, I'll give you a call back. Back in my mind, I hope you don't call me. It's all good. Appreciate the time. I'm good, but.
So I have a question. How old were you back when the accident happened?
35.
And you are how old now?
50.
Oh, well, you look amazing.
Don't. I just want to say. I'm looking crazy with the beard. Don't. Yeah. This is my crazy looking too. Because I've been, you know, off and on for the last couple of weeks because changing the gym and everything else. So once I really get back into my workout routines, really back grinding, I'll let the beard grow. But once they get back to grinding, cutting this joint back off. Like, it make me look like I'm rough and rugged. You know what I'm saying? Rough on the edges. So.
When you told me you was 50, I couldn't believe it. The first time you told me how old you were, I was like, what?
No, a lot of people don't believe it. I'm like, listen.
You look really young.
I ain't complaining. Listen, I'm gonna keep this youth going as long as I can. But you know, listen, I appreciate when people say like, you know, even though it's like you hit 50. They was like, yeah. Like, when did you turn? I turned 50 back in June last year. And it was like, you 50. I'm like, yeah, I'm 50. You're like, no, I'm like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
I'm 21. Will you believe it? You're not 21. Well, then
I'm 50.
I believe that I'm 50 then. I go, what you want me to do? I'm not going to lie to you. Listen, I'm 50 years old, father of 3. My youngest one just turned 21. She's in the 3rd year of college. My older 2, you're looking at 24, 25 now. So.
Oh, they're twins.
Nah.
124.
Girl, boy, girl.
So what's the ages? 25, 24,
25,
21?
24, 21. So,
Wow.
yeah, so, you know. But I always say whatever I'm doing right. I'm gonna keep on trying to do it until I can't do it anymore. So, like I said, stress, I ain't doing stress. If I have to do stress, it's gonna be for a quick moment. It ain't gonna be for a little lasting. Other than that, just try to enjoy, just try to do what you gotta do. Try to, keep people that need to be kept above, try to help them out and everything else. But, I don't know, just, like I said, the gym is it's my everything. It's just, it keeps a lot of things in perspective. When you go to the gym, everything that's going on in your life in the world, you don't think nothing about it, man. That's like your business. When you got to your shirts and everything else, you didn't think about a whole lot of stuff. You was focused on getting this business started, getting this business going, and then once you got it going, what can I do to improve it? And every time you turn around, you're trying to improve things, you try to add on to things. When you in the gym, whatever you were thinking about before you got to the gym, it's outside. You come to the gym, it's all about you and the weights, your cardio, your abs, whatever workout you're doing, that's where your focus is. And when you finish all that, you got a good sweat, you're feeling good, like, yo, that was a good workout. You're drinking your water, you're getting your protein shake, you're ready to call it a day. You go outside, whatever you had to deal with before you came to the gym, you're ready to take it on now. You know what I'm saying? You feel good, you feel rejuvenated, you're like, all right, good. Like, whatever I got to do right now, I'm good. I'm focused now. You know what I'm saying? When I come to the gym, I don't feel like I'm in a wheelchair. I feel like I'm just a regular walked in the gym, working out and everything else. That's kind of how I feel when I go to the gym. I don't feel like a person that's in a wheelchair, had an accident and so on, because I get so focused on what I'm doing, I don't think like that. So it's like, my mind goes into another place, and that's what I love about the gym. The gym, people be like, yo, if you need help, this and that. People talk to you like, yo, man, listen, I got nothing to complain about. Yo, you need a spot, so and so. You meet people, you meet different people. You don't meet the same people. Every day is something different. And if people see you doing stuff, I always tell people, there's a whole lot of motivational speakers in this world, a whole lot. Yo, man, once you become a motivator, for what? There's enough motivational speakers out there. Why do I need to do it? Yo, man, because they hear your story, man, and this and that. The people who hear my stories, the people that I'm around with all the time. So I can't reach all the other ones because there's so many other people I can reach them. So why do I need to jump on that bandwagon? If I'm going to motivate people around me, people that I ain't go my way. If I'm at the gym, you see me every day at the gym, you're going to look at me like, yo, I ain't got no excuse. That brother there every day. And if you speak to me, and like we're doing right now, we talking, hear the stories and this and that, you're like, yo, I can't get motivated over his words, something's wrong with me. You know what I'm saying? So you getting hit with the scene, you getting hit with the words. So those two things right there, if that don't motivate you, I don't know what to tell you. You know what I'm saying? So why do I need to go any extra? If you're around me, you get one of the two or you get both. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, to me, it's just, I don't, that bandwagon, all the motivate. I've had people ask me to go out, and I went out, and I have spoken, little kids, because I'm a clown. Listen, you can take me to old folks' home, but let's party, hey, grandma, you know what I'm saying? I will have fun, but, I have no problem with that, but it's just so many people, every person who, like some people be like, every person in a wheelchair should be a motivational speaker to tell them their story. Okay. I'm like, all right. No, that's not me. That's not my style. Like Instagram, only time I put like that and Facebook, the only time I put pictures up, like if I go away somewhere or I go to an event or something like that, I put pictures up. Further than 24 hours a day, putting pictures, doing selfies, I'm in the mirror, I'm taking, I don't do that. I can't do that. It has to be a moment. I have to feel like doing it. If I don't feel like doing it, I'm not going to do it. I want the picture to be genuine, like, wow, you took this picture at this moment. I want to be every few minutes, I'm working out, and you see how I work out. Do I got time to take a picture, a selfie? No. So if I do have time to do something, I may do it, but it might be something funny that I think is funny, something to throw on. Further than that, I can't do it like that. It has to be for a moment. Somebody else has to do it or something like that. Like the first day I was here, one of the managers, I'm working out. I didn't even know she was a manager. And she said, "Can I take a picture?" Like, you know, like, yeah, that's cool. You know, no arguments about it. She's like, "I'm the manager." I was like, "Wow." Put me on her website. And I wasn't even here a good hour or two where I was working out, like, cause I just zone out when I get here. You know, just I'm focused on what I'm getting ready to do, and sometimes it's like that. And you know, it's that's probably the only time you might get me up on something. But for me just posting, you know, here I'm at the gym, I'm working out, I'm doing this workout, I can't get into it. That's not me. That's not me. That's to me. If it's you, do you. That's not me. You know what I'm saying? So we all do things differently. That's just how I do things, man. If it wasn't for you and your blessings, man, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be here right now, man. You know what I'm saying?
I was gonna say, after this interview, you might go viral, man. You know, like, you never know. They might be like, yo, I can get $1 million. Come speak over here.
But it's all good. Listen, man. If you don't look at life a certain way, especially with me, I look at life. You know, I was always a certain type of person before, and like I always tell people, I'm more of a different type of person now. I'm still the same person, but I just elevated myself to do things more differently. You know, things are not, you know, if you're with somebody that things are not going right and can't fix a problem, you know, let it go. I mean, don't sit there and try to fix something that can't be fixed. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They say you don't give up on the individual, but just, you know, kids today are grown, and, you know, you can't teach like the great what movie was this, man? When they said you can't teach, excuse me, you can't teach anybody something if they already know everything. You can't give knowledge. If you take a glass that's empty, an empty glass, you can give a person knowledge. If that's your brain, you can feed them knowledge. You can pour in knowledge. But if the glass is already full, you can't teach them anything.
You're talking about pride and humility.
Yeah. So it's just, and that goes into 1,001 different things, you know. You know, I was never that type of person. I used to love, I read books, and, you know, you read all these different philosophies and everything else. I was never that person. I was that person that watched the movies, loved talking with people, old and young, and just like to hear their perspective. And just like anything else, if something sounds like, wow, makes you say, wow, like, I never thought about it that way. I'll take that in, and if that particular topic come up, then I'll throw that out to somebody, put my own little twist on it. You know what I'm saying? So it'll be one of those someone or someone else. Now, if I say something to you, you're like, wow, man, like, I never thought about it like that. Like, wow, and that's something I can use. That's some good wisdom. So when you talk to somebody, that particular topic come up, it's gonna click to you. You're gonna be like, yo, you know, I heard something that was similar to that. You put your little twist on it. So now you got the power. And then now you just give it to somebody else, and someone else is gonna do the same thing, and so on and so on and so on. So that's how, you know, that's why I love, you know, even with religions and different type of backgrounds, from race to religion and so on. I love talking to people that's from all these different things, because you learn about someone else's religion. If you're not going to sit there and read the book and learn about it, I learn quicker by talking to a person than reading a book, because reading is one thing. To actually sit down with somebody and really sit there and listen to why they do this and do this and that, and have a good conversation, that's probably my biggest turn on, is a conversation. If you can sit and talk with me, I'm in love with you. Love it. I love a good conversation, because every conversation starts off, hi, how you doing? How's everything?
Are you religious?
No.
You believe in God?
I believe in someone or something or something created all this, because I'm not going to say, well, you know, listen, I believe in someone, something created all this. Who exactly it is, I don't know.
Did you grow up religious?
Grew up in a Christian family. You know, one thing my parents did was, as we got older and we started understanding the scientific, the knowledge, the wisdom, true understanding of different things, you know, they kind of let us go our own ways. Mother Christian and everything else, gospel. You know, me being the baby, you know, you go everywhere mom goes, so mom loved gospel. So what I am doing, love gospel. I love that. Gospel was to me, gospel was like soul, like R&B, like soul music, man. It just, when you listen to it, man, it just had meaning, it had definition. It didn't just touch you physically, mentally, spiritually. It just touched you in such a way where you was like, wow, man, I love this music.
It is really uplifting.
So it just, you just appreciate stuff like that. But as I got older, I had one of my partners that was Muslim, real cool, knew his family, everything else. And it used to always intrigue me where they have the, their studies and everything else. And I used to, sit, I'm like, can I sit with you? And I've always been that type of kid that if something happened that caught my attention, now I want to know about it. Now I'm like, why does this so-and-so? Just that, how you call it, inquisitive mind, like curious. I've always been, if I see something, why you tie your shoe that way? Why you wear this? Why you wear that? I might not go by like a nag, like, why you do this? Why you do this? No, it's like, I don't like that. I might say, like, no, it's something to pay attention to. So I've always been, so when I say my bucket list, I've had a bucket list since birth, you know what I'm saying? Because my mind is always, something hit me, like, wow. So, so for a time period, studied as a Muslim and everything else, didn't take it to that crossing where I fully went that direction, but loved the studies because it was so eye-opening, so educational, and I still use words today. And it's an education. It's a definitely true and understanding of you just being a black man living in the world that we live in today, and you can still use that past education to help you through your trials and tribulations of life in the way the world always comes back to one spot. You know what I'm saying? No, what you see today, Nike's the thing is, 5 years down the line, Nike, Adidas, and this, that come around, and it's gonna come right back around, Nike's again. But not the same way, but it's gonna be Nike's. Things come back around, and you listen, like, wow, man. So for a time period, and even to the day, I still want to, I go look at the Quran, read some words, talk to some of my people, and just sit down. And like I said, I love to sit down and have conversation. If my Jewish friends, Catholic, I'll sit down with any Jehovah's Witness and sit down and like, I want to hear what you're talking about. I want to hear, if it's not God, what Jehovah? If it's not this, that, why do y'all do this? Why don't you not someone explain it to me? Because a person that understands something will be able to explain it to you better than a book will explain it to me, because while you're reading a book and it gives you a little definition, let me just talk to one of my people that I know that's there. Hey, I got a question. Why does so-and-so? So when they break it down to you, it makes more sense. Like, wow, like, okay. Some things you can't learn in a book. Some things you have to learn hands-on. And I've always been a hands-on person about things. It's quicker learning, but it's quicker understanding of what you're learning. So, but further than that, it was just spiritual life. I call life my Bible, because if you can't learn from life, you ain't gonna learn from no book. You ain't gonna learn from no book, so, you gotta look at what you're learning. I mean, further than jobs, you learn from a book to do your job. You gotta get educated, go to school to learn different crafts. But where most of your work is going to be done at, hands-on. You know what I'm saying? You're never going to learn 100% of a job in a book. It works hand in hand. 50% book, 50% on-hand learning. You know what I'm saying? So if you understand the book, not fully understand it, but when you get it hands-on, it's like, it's no problem. Some people are better book learners than hands-on, and some people are better hands-on than book. So if you can do both, you're great. If you can do one or the other, you're great, because it'll eventually come together. You know what I'm saying? So you can't be handicapped and can't do either one of them, then you're in trouble. It's like, you should have a lot, dude.
Yeah. So I know, so my dad's a pastor, right? And one of the things that I realized growing up, especially when it comes to like the Christian faith, is a lot of things have been passed down from tradition. A lot of pastors will teach things that they just heard from somewhere, and it's just a lot of things that that aren't really from the Bible, for instance, but it's personal preferences, things that was passed down.
But isn't that what most religions are really? Most religions, and you think about it, there's only one Bible. There's only one Bible. But from that Bible, you got 1,000,001 religions and a bunch of other versions of the Bible. And what people did was they took the Bible and took parts of the Bible and put it to benefit themselves, but still the Bible, but a lot of it has been changed to benefit the individual who's using that book to benefit his needs or he or she needs. So when I tell people, to me, at times the Bible could be like a regular book. They'd be like, it's be a regular book, like a regular top, #1 bestseller. I said, how can you say it like that? Because what is a book that's a #1 top seller? It's part truth, part me and you friends talk about conversation we having, part good storytelling. You're mixing up different stories of other people might have told you, and you're putting it, the twist into your own words to make it sound good. So when you put all of that together, and a person opens that book and start reading it, be like, wow, oh my God, I'm like blown away, man. His story is so great. He did all this. Oh my God, the secrets, this and that, so on. #1 seller. So they said, nah, those type of books are nothing like the Bible's the truth. Okay. I said, okay. Are you sure? Yes, the Bible was the original book to this and that, so on. Now we all know books are made by man. It didn't make itself. Stories had to come from somewhere. So you look back at time and you look back at so many things, people did so many things to benefit who or whenever during their times. And just like you just said, people took the past, and as time started going to now, they took a little bit of something to benefit their needs. Until we get to here today, and they're still doing the same thing today, taking something and twisting it to benefit their need, to benefit whatever they're trying to do. So when we read the Bible, we say, oh, this is the Bible. We read this. Why do we go to church? Well, what do we need to go to church for? Because correctly, they say wherever the Bible is, it's church. It's the home of the Lord. Wherever that Bible is, that's church right there. So when you go to church, what's the purpose of going to church? Pastor, preacher, whoever, their job is to teach you and give you the real true understanding of what it is you're reading. Am I correct? In some way, when a pastor gets up there and says, let's go to script so and so and so, and he reads it, his job is to interpret to weigh that with that meaning of what he just said, that word, that sentence he just read. His job is to tell you what that sentence actually means.
I wouldn't say that because
It's
I would have
to,
so my dad's a pastor, right? So I would have to, I would ask him because he would have more understanding because I know he's really well versed in scriptures that have to do with the role of pastors and preachers. I always felt like church, the purpose of church is really to bring encouragement. It's for fellowship, because as you go through the day and you are keeping your mind focused on moving forward and being positive and living and laughing and loving, there are going to be things that kind of weigh you down. And I always felt like church was an environment where people come and you just encourage one another, you fellowship with one another. I never really got down with a lot of the traditional things that churches did.
But what's and where's and all the different things that come with the package.
Yeah, but I always felt like it was mainly for, encouragement, to love one another, encouragement, to inspire people to do the right thing. I've been to churches where the pastor would say, they'll interpret something. I'm just like, wait, what? I don't,
to benefit their being. And you're like, and just what you just said, that's why I use the Bible of life, and then the gym is like church to me, because it allows me to come to a place where everyone's on the same sheet of music thought. Not everybody's going to be there, but even in church, the same way. You go to a church to be among people that's there for the same purpose, to be in the Lord's house, to be as positive and try to live a certain way. Same thought process go into when we come to this gym. Yeah. The same thought process.
When I started Better Society, it's a business, but I wanted it to be more of a family, more of let's go out, let's go give out food. But even though we're giving out food, we're together, vibing with each other while we're doing it.
That's it.
We got a group chat. How you doing? On Instagram, it's just to inspire one another to bring out the best in all of us.
There you go.
That's me growing up in the church, with my dad. That's something that I always wanted to bring out into into the world so that other people could experience, or just play my role into like helping bring that out.
True.
So more people can experience it. But I actually view it as religious because I don't label myself religious. I believe in God. I believe in love. I believe in the teachings of Jesus Christ. But I'm not down with like all the there's like a lot of traditional things that
and that's just how the world is. It's whatever you're into. And I'll be the first one to tell you, if you're into something that you feel 100% involved in and you're doing it for your reason, I back you. I don't care what it is that you're doing. If it's something that you're doing that I know that's not right, I'm going to tell you. But we're all grown. Sometimes people need to learn stuff the hard way. Some people learn stuff by, listen, I know if Gator say like, listen, this is something you should be doing, you should be running with, you need not to doing it. And if he's saying it, stressing it, he's saying it for a reason because he cares like that. He's not going to just tell you like, listen, stop going to church. Why you don't want me to go to church? Nah, it's a waste of your time. I'm not going to tell nobody like that. If you want to go to this church, that church, whatever you want to do, you doing it because you want to do it. It's something about, just like when I tell you about the gym. There's 1,000,001 gyms. You can go to 1,000,001 gym, but you only need to go to one gym. Why? Because you feel comfortable. You feel the vibe. It has what you want to accomplish what you're trying to do. Once you find that type of gym, you're good. You're home. You know what I'm saying? You're home. So I can't be mad at you. But if you go into 1,001 different gyms and you still ain't figure out, well, I don't like this gym because of this. All right. What are you going to gym for in the first place? You know what I'm saying? You know, you got to have a reason for doing. You can't. There's a lot of things we do to be doing until we finally figure out, like, what the hell am I doing this for? Like, you know, like, why? But I don't knock anybody. Whatever religion you want to follow, you follow. Because you doing it because you want to do it. And you feel something toward whatever you're doing. I'll be the first one like, yo, glad to see you. But what I don't like is when you follow something, now you're throwing it down throwing it at me, hitting me in the back of my head. Yo, Gator, you didn't. Hey, listen, you know me. If that particular religion did something for you and you decide to give your life to it, I'll be the first one back. You're like, yo, I'm glad. Because 9-10, what was you were doing before that, you was going in a different direction. Now you found something that saved you, I'll be the first one to commit. Like, yo, I'm glad, stick with it. If it's working for you, roll with it. But I hate when people come at you like, yo, man, you gotta come with me, son. No. Because you start hearing stuff like that, like, it works for you? Yeah, man. If it works for you, man, run with it. Yo, Gator, man, you gotta come with me this day. Yo, I'm telling you, what you to do. It works for you? Yeah. I'm glad for you. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy for you, but don't come at me. Don't come at me like, yo, man, he did it to me, he can do it to you. You happy, man? I'm happy. Proud of you. Listen, I will change the subject quick, like, yo, man, you hungry? Yo, you hungry? I don't mind it, man. You know, some people, I've had guys that ran, a lot of guys who, listen, they had a choice, either catch a bullet or change their life. I had a couple of cats like this, they at church, they in it to win it, it changed their life, they're married, they got kids, and I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. Because I'd rather see you above ground than underground. Because I can only visit you so much, but I'll always think about you. You'll always be with me. But I'm glad that you're above ground. I can still talk to you and see you. I see your wife. I see your kids. I am happy. Yo, man. Yo, this did it to me. This could do it to you. Hey, man, you happy? Yeah, how's your wife doing? Yo, how my little baby doing? You doing good. You hungry?
So were you ever married?
Yes, I was married for maybe a good 2 years. It was done after actually done before that. You know, it's like that love, you blind love. You know, I met a young lady, and I'm not gonna call it bad. I met a young lady after I came back from the first Gulf War.
You know, we got involved, this and that and so on. You know, I said, I'm not gonna run no more. You know, in the military, you kind of, family thing kind of comes quick. You know, you can run and gun, have your fun, but eventually it hits you like, yeah, I want to settle down. You know, that's the environment. And met a young lady, this and that. You know, we got married, so and so. You know, probably a good year, probably within a good year, 2 years, it was done. It was done. But you know, it was a learning lesson. I ain't gonna take everything bad, and I ain't gonna take everything good, but I almost think good. But you know, it had its bad moment, but it's a learning lesson. You know, you blind. You know, I was blind. You know, I was in love. And, you know, I was gonna make this work. I'm, you know, tired of running around. You know, you get that thing. You know, like she's the one for me. And then one day you open your eyes, like, listen, I can do bad by myself.
How long did you know before you married her?
Ooh, how was I was together? Probably maybe within the 6 months.
Yeah.
Had to be at least in the 6 months. But like I said, that military atmosphere, you meet people, this and that and so on. You know, things happen. I mean, you know, it's just the world how we live in. You know, I will say I always learned a lot from that. Because you always got to take something from a bad situation. It's like, listen, it takes longer time. You know, you can meet anybody today. I might get married to you 2 days later. Oh my God, she's the woman for me. Don't know nothing about her. You don't know if she standing up or sitting down. You don't know. It's like you just don't know. You don't know these things. And you know,
I just got what you said.
Yeah, when you hear people, you know, I know you figure it out after a while. But you know, it's just you just don't know anything about somebody. So when you see people like, you know, I just met somebody, and you know, 2 months later we were married, and you know, we know each other. If it works for you, go with the flow. But you ain't gonna know nobody in 2 months, know everything about them. Like, I'm gonna marry her. This is my person.
Yeah, I'm realizing that a lot of times when like I know maybe if I could speak with guys, like if a guy's being, you know, promiscuous, you know, and he gets tired of it, it's kind of, I know for myself, like I've jumped into relationships quickly.
Men are men, women are women. We're two different species, and when people start figuring that part out, they'll kind of understand some things. And some things, we'll never fully understand each other. I don't care what anybody say. Man and woman will never. That's why it's man and women. Everybody got they got their highs, and everybody got their lows. But we'll never understand a woman to the fullest. Just like a woman would never know a man to the fullest. The only two people who know each other the best, and this was an old saying that I used to, and I still use it today. Nobody knows a man better than a man, just like nobody knows a woman better than a woman. They understand each other mentally and physically. We understand a man. I don't care if you're young or you're old. Eventually you're gonna get the old and so on. We understand the significance of what we do, what we want, how our mind thinks, what we want, what our needs are, and so on. Just like a woman, she knows another woman to what the yays and nays, so if she understands this and that. But then when you try to put those two together, it's a lot. You'll never know your significant other 100%. You're never gonna know everything about them. Everyone's going to have something about it that your mate is not going to know. Some things you gotta think about something. You grow with the person. Grow. That's what growing with two people is all about. Communication, everything else. You grow with it, but you're never going to know everything about a person. No one is perfect. As a man, we have our little instinct. We're like, yeah, you know, this is good, this and that, so on, but you know, we want more. You know, we want that different. We want that thing to keep us going. A woman might want this, but then you really switch it. At the end of the day, the way I think, there's a woman out here who thinks just like me. The way you think, there's a woman out here who thinks just like you. So in some ways, we're different. In other ways, we're the same. It's just a matter of us crossing those lines to find out what we know, what we don't know, what we understand, and what we learn. But that's the way the world is, man. It's a constant learning factor, man. Ain't no marriage. I don't care if, you know, we look at my parents have been married for 50, 60 something years. They still don't know everything about each other. You know what I'm saying? They still don't know everything about each other. They still be like, well, your father used to be this and that. Or your mama used to be like this. Before I met your mama used to be like this. Like, my mama like this? Wait a minute, you serious? And your mama was out there slinging it. Like, wait a minute, your father was out there running the women. What? Pops was a Rolling Stone? What? So it's there. But, you know, the thing in their time frame, and our parents, and every parent will tell you the same thing. Same thing was going on today. Everybody goes through ups and downs. It's a matter if you're willing to hang around to try to fix things, work things out, and when it gets to that point, you know when it's done. But with them, our parents, they stayed together regardless. It was good, the bad, the ugly, the crazy. She stood by his side, he stayed by his side. He never went nowhere, she never went anywhere. And then you look at today's world, what started happening? So man, you ain't told me it's gonna be a small percentages, and you remember this from this point on. Right now, if you are around, say, 60 and up, and you're still in a, married, got that true relationship where you there, roddy-dotted from day, it's not a lot of them around. And that's our parents. You start looking up our parents. Those are the last of the Mohegans where you see 60, 70 years. Now you go under that to the younger generation, marriage, if you meet somebody that's been married for at least 10 years, you better shake their hand. Because that's work. That's work. That's work. Because why? The average marriage, a couple of years, well, she want to move on, he want to move on. You know what I'm saying? It's that's just how the world is. Things just keep changing. The relationships come, go, and you got to roll with the punches sometimes. That's why a lot of people now, no one wants relationships because too much work. Yeah. Too much work and too much money.
So me and my girlfriend, right? We've been friends from before, we started the relationship. And there have been certain things that have happened in our relationship. If it had been with anyone else, that let's say I would have just met them off the river when we started dating, it would have ended. But I feel like the fact that I've known her
for a while prior to it,
it's like I know it's too risky. Like I got too much invested in you. We're gonna have to fight a little bit harder, baby. But I attest to, I want people to, I would suggest that people be friends first.
Yeah, I mean, but hasn't always been the motto, friends before lovers. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I knew. You gotta be friends before lovers, and you could be friends and eventually, because you know why? Think about the generation. Here we go again, generation. Think about it. The friends, then lovers, and so on. Usually it's friends, lovers very next day, or you start off as hooking up, and then now you're trying to make a relationship out of it. Let's keep it real. That's how things are. And is it wrong? That's just how things are. We meet people going out to the clubs. We meet this and that. We might hook up with somebody we just met. You're trying to make a relationship off of a person you just hook up with, and you sexing them out. Now you're trying to make a relationship from that. It's so many things, but no matter how time grows and keeps going forward, those old school sayings will always be around to keep showing itself. You gotta be friends before you be lovers. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get to know somebody before you can, listen, we just met last week, this week we living together, or we get ready to get married. Okay, have y'all lived together? Do you know where he lived? Do you know where she lived? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You don't know nothing. And if we don't take these little time out to try to get to know somebody, how long do we think that's gonna last? You know what I'm saying? So, it's how the world is. It's up to every individual to dictate what they want. If I'm a woman and I just meet a guy, I'm playing hardball. If you want something out of it, because we all know as a man, and I'm going to speak for every man. I'm going to speak for myself. I know how I was back in the time because there's a growth. I knew how I was. Like, listen, you meet people, like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Once you gave me the drawers, that's it. The challenge, just no more challenge. If you make me work, I'll appreciate you even more. But if you just met me and the next day I'm already hitting the drawers, the next day it's going to be like, hey, how you doing? A couple of days is going to die down. Why? Because you gave in too quickly. And once you give in to me as a man, I can't speak for every man, at that time period when I was doing this stuff, once you gave me the drawers, the challenge is done. It's nothing. What am I there for? What else am I going to do? Hey, how you doing? What's up? Well, let's get to know each other. You should have been thinking about that before you did that. I'm being real about it. That's how my thought process was. I hate to say that.
No. The last thing I just wanted to say was yeah, like, you know, so me and Shorty, us as friends, just like we knew everything about each other. You know, like I know who she dating, she know who I'm dating, and it's just like, you know, she asked
get
me
down, you know how she get down,
she
you know
me for
what
advice about her boyfriend. I'm back to her boyfriend, my
girlfriend. There you
so
go.
It was cool though, but you know, I mean, yeah,
that's a good scenario. That's a good scenario. So it's not like y'all just met and now y'all learned about each other. Y'all already knew about each other because y'all was already into each other's business anyway. So now that she ain't with this dude and you ain't with this chick, y'all basically just coming together, hanging out, doing this and that. Like, you know something? I think this might, but you know, this might could be a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? What do you think? Should we give it a try? And look where you at. Look where you at. Because she actually told me the reason why y'all hooked up because she smacked you or something, or she beat you up or some crap like that. She's a little violent. She's a little violent. I thought she was innocent until she tried to like, she approached me and was like, yo, listen, you know I'm taller than you, I'll bust you.
No, she's firecracker, I think.
Yeah, I'm like, what? Are you serious? Yeah. I'm like, what? You know something?
You see it now that she got some muscle.
Yeah. I see it now. I be like, yo, listen, I'm packing. Run over me you want to. You catch one. Me and you be in the chair next to each other rolling. Think I'm playing. You ain't gonna be scaring me. All swollen. Swollen. They gonna be doing all that.
Yo, it's so funny, bro. Like one of my boys just said, he was like, every girl that you date, they always end up getting brolic.
Oh damn.
Hey man, I don't know what it is.
I don't know, you should be telling people that. Every chicken was like, yeah, can we be friends? Every chicken wanna hook up was like, what? What's up with that? I wanna get bratty. I don't wanna be this way. I wanna be muscle bad. I don't wanna be competing. I heard that you the person to hook up with. You could be busted, you could be busted, overweight, this and that, but yo, hook up with you, after so many months, the whole world in change. Thank you, I'm moving on, thank you, I'm moving on. You served your purpose.
Oh man.
Moving on. No more cakes and cookies for me. I'm vegan and I'm doing this and that, I'm good now. They like, listen, they be calling you like, listen, it was all good, but it's not you, it's me. And they moving on like, what the hell? Nah, I wouldn't be telling nobody that one, bro. Nah,
I might do this.
A lot of people, a lot of women gonna take advantage.
No, I'm taking that, but there's no.
They're gonna be taking advantage. You like, yo, hey, good looking. Like, yo, she trying to get at you.
I got eyes for one woman.
She wants your workout skills. She want to know your workout secrets. So that's when you gotta keep mommy around with you. Like, yo, boo, when I go places, I need you to be there. She's gonna be like, why? Just, I want to be with you. I want to be with you. Let's hang out. Let's hang out. Don't let me be alone. Don't let me be with myself. Let me go by myself. People gonna try to come at me because they know my secret. They know the secret. Hook up with you, they gonna be shaking.
All right, so that's it. We're done.
That's it.
Do you want to say you got any final remarks?
Final remark. Listen. Live life, enjoy life. Just be the better you, be the version of you. Help another person. Everybody needs help. Help when you can help. Speak when you can speak. Give good advice. But try to live and enjoy life, man. Nothing is promised to anybody. And listen, man, get to the gym. Get your gym on. That's the most gratifying thing is gym. If you can get to the gym and get that going, that's going to help you out of so much stuff. Of course, the atmosphere, the working out, exercising, it pushes you up. It makes you want that positivity to come out, and you're going to feel so confident, reassuring about why you feel better. You move a little different. You speak a little different. You act a little different. And mommy gonna love you, and if you're a woman, daddy gonna love you too. Because gym does help out in so many ways on the love side. It helps you. You know what I'm saying? But it's a good thing. It's a positive thing. But listen, health. Especially us being black, health. We gotta try to cut out these cigarettes and alcohol and cigarettes and all this other stuff, man. Just try to listen. No one's perfect. To each their own. Whatever you need to do to keep yourself going, but let's try to stay around a little bit longer. It's the little bitty things we do. It ain't gotta be big, just the little things to do to help us try to stay around a little bit longer, to see our kids become grown, see our grandkids and all of the above. Try to hang around a little bit longer so we can see life more. Hopefully by the time we leave this world, the world will be in a better place, hopefully. So, that's it, bro.
Thank you.
My man, better you, better society. Keep doing what you're doing.